state that it is 7:32 p.m. on Tuesday, January 8th, 2018, 19. Take a while to get used to that. And that we are in council chambers, 200 South Street, Morristown, New Jersey. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided according to law by written notice to the Morristown Daily Record, the official newspaper of the town of Morristown, and to the Newark Star Ledger. Notice was also posted on the bulletin board at Town Hall and filed with the office of the town clerk of the town of Morristown. I do further state that I shall enter into the minutes of this meeting a statement that such notice was furnished as particularly described by me in this public announcement. At this time, I would ask that everybody stay seated and observe a moment of silence. And please stand for a salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next on the agenda is welcome remarks, which I am tasked with doing. However, I didn't prepare anything formal because I find that that's not really my thing. So I just want to say to everyone who's here, it's been a year since I've started a little bit, and I'm just so thrilled to be here still. Those of you who were at reorganization last January 1st, 2018 may recall it was my third or fifth day on the job. And there I was up on the stage at the school in front of a mayor and council I did not know, in front of what looked like thousands of residents I had never met before, and with Senator Booker right there in my sight line. So I thought if I could get through that, I could get through anything. And I just want to say thank you so much. Over the past year, I've got to know the council administration, my team, the residents, and I am still so profoundly thrilled to be here, and I thank you all every day for allowing me to be here. With that, I would like to introduce the members of council, administration, and legal here up on the dais. I'm sure you all know Allison Deeb, Councilwoman 4th Ward, Michael Elms, Councilman at Large. We have Robert Iannacone, who's Councilman in the 1st Ward. Stephen Armington to my left, who's the Councilman for the 3rd Ward. Toshiba Foster, Councilwoman at Large. Hillary Davis, Councilwoman for the 2nd Ward. Sorry.
It's okay.
No, I'm nervous. We have David Silva, who is a Councilman at Large. And then we also have Joni Noble McDonald, who is our Assistant Municipal Attorney. We have Vijayant Pawar, who is our Director of Law. We have our Business Administrator, Jillian Barrick. And of course, we have our Mayor, the Honorable Timothy J. Doherty.
P.
What?
P.
I was misinformed, sir. I beg 1,000 pardons.
Okay.
And with that, I would invite our mayor to please step up to the podium and give his address.
Already?
Yes.
But the council president was going to say a few words.
There is no council president.
Oh, there isn't?
Not yet.
Oh. I thought I had a few more minutes. Oh, my God. It's okay. You want me to do anything while I'm up there? Proclamation or anything?
You can dance for us.
I'm not dancing.
We know you do this so eloquently and so polished that you don't have to be prepared.
Well, this year's actually a little different. No, I'm not starting off with a joke. It is a little different. Hopefully, it'll move along fairly quickly. First, let me take a moment and welcome Diana Rochford, who's here representing Senator Tony Bucco. Where's Diana? Diana. And of course, our very good friend, Sheriff James M. Gannon, who is here representing the county, the sheriff, and his agency. We appreciate them coming out and spending some time with us on our reorg. And I did hear from Senator Bucco, and he sends his regrets he couldn't make it, but he does have a personal matter he's attending to, but he wishes everyone good luck, a prosperous new year, healthy, and looking forward to working with all of us over the upcoming year. So we appreciate him reaching out. So let me just start out by wishing everyone a happy new year. Wish all the citizens and the council have a prosperous and healthy new year. Looking forward to working with each council member on their issues and issues that affect the town as a whole. And we look for, I hope to be a very, very exciting year, working with my business administrator, the Department of Law, and all the department heads. And that saying that, let me touch on a few things that happened in 2018 before I just touch on a few things in 2019 that are coming. So the first thing I want to do is I want to talk about something that finally closed in 2018. I was hoping that it did, so I didn't have to use it for 2019, which was the 11 acres at Foots Pond. It is a closed, done deal. Those that we had a little silent clap in the back. It was, you can clap because we worked on it for a very long time. And we appreciate the help and the commitment of the Foots Pond organization and the neighbors down there at our Councilwoman Allison Deeb for the trial and tribulations we had to go through for a long time to make that happen. That is a very, very nice piece of property, and believe me, it was eyeballed by many more people than the municipality, but it was something that we talked about 10 years ago when we started this journey, that open space when we could, we would try to acquire. And I would say that's our third solid piece of open space that we've acquired here in Morristown. Clayton Woods, which we'll have a ribbon cutting in the spring. Over on Hillcrest, we did the garden over on Early, the park by Madero 44 and 55. I can't really say we own the little pocket park by the Grand Cafe over on Schuyler, but isn't that a really cool little pocket park? And we really advocated for that at our planning board. And now 11 acres over at Foots Pond. For a 2.9 square mile town, I think that's a very good accomplishment on behalf of the council and the administration and the citizens of Morristown. I think that's a job well done by all, and I think you all deserve a round of applause. So if I remember for one thing, it'll be I got some open space, you know? And think about all the stuff we could have had over the years and we didn't get. So, you know, when we say it, we try to acquire it. Okay, so what's happened in 2018? Madero 55, some open space, Coldwell Playground, MLK Streetscape, Granby Park, vertical on Market Street, it's under construction, Ann Street condos, 58 COs issued for affordable housing. That means 58 people moved in to affordable units in Morristown in 1 year. That's a pretty good number considering we're not a very large city. We're a 2.9 square mile town, and we had 50, that's just this year, 58. So we're very, very proud of that 58 people now have moved into affordable housing units in Morristown. And the COs were issued for those 58 units. To me, that's something that's very important. I want to thank our planning division. They came up with, introduced and the council adopted a new form-based coding, which is what we're now based on with our ordinances and moving our planning department and what we do for Morristown. We're on the cutting edge. Not very many communities have taken on the form-based coding we have. Don't want to forget what happened last March and last January. Does everybody remember what took place in late January? 15,000 women marched through Morristown. And what happened in March? A bunch of kids marched for their lives, for our lives. And those are two things that happened in Morristown that I think are incredible events that we should not forget, and we should mention how important they are, that we're that type of community that welcomes those type of events and really shows what we're about. And I think that'll be in the record book, those type of events that took place here at Morristown. It wouldn't have happened without all the help from the council and from the citizenry. Also, municipal ID program, which is doing really well. We have hundreds of people who have municipal IDs now. Like I said, there's a lot that took place in 2018. We balanced our budget. We employed people. We worked on all the different things that take place that make our community better. We have more policing. We brought in a public safety director, which we'll briefly touch on. We have a director of property maintenance and code enforcement, which has been a big help to us. So we're investing the townspeople's money in places that we know we need to make sure that Morristown runs really well and people are protected and their property values stay where they are and they rise and that we're a clean and safe town and we're really proud of the work that they do. Without the hard work of all the employees in the town of Morristown, this town would not be what it is. And they really are the backbone of our community, which is the workers. Our DPW guys are out there day and night, whether it's dealing with snow, whether it's dealing with clogged sewer drains from leaves, whether it's broken trees, you name it, they're out there working, and they're the backbone of what takes place in this community, and I want to personally say thank you to them, and I know that the residents of Morristown appreciate everything they do, and I'm glad that our trash company picks up our trash on time. Occasionally they get the day wrong, but most of all, they do get it right. So everything seems to be working good on that end. 2019. Now, who'd have thought that we'd be saying 2019 when I remember when the Buffalo Bills were in the Super Bowl in 1991? I know, nobody gets that. But I get that, how fast time goes, all right? How fast did 2019 come? Pretty quick, right? For those who are council people in wards, you'll all have to run for election this year. That's how fast 4 years goes. And I got to tell you, they all do a good job. And no matter what they do, we all support everything they do here on the council to make this town the best town it can be. And I, as a mayor, appreciate the hard work that they do and the work with the administration day in and day out to make this town the best town in the county. So on that note, thank you very much. So what are we going to work on in 2019? You know, I could go on and on and on with all the different things that happened in 2018, but we all see how the town's doing. We see a vibrant downtown. We see a lively community. We see people moving in and out of our community all the time. We see restaurants that are packed. We see jazz festivals. We see festivals, fall festivals. We see book festivals. We see all these different things that are happening in our community, and it kind of really shows what we're about and what we're like and how important that is as a mayor to recognize all the people that put those things together. I don't do anything with the book festival. It's a handful of volunteers. Fall festival, the partnership. Jazz festival, well, I have something to do with the jazz festival. Christmas holiday on the green. Those are the things that make our community give a sense of community. Because I think that's what we're all about, right? It's all about community and how we feel as a community. And that's one of the cool things I get to do tonight later is when I do a proclamation for somebody who's leaving our community and how much he understands what community is all about. 2019, I'll try to keep this brief because I know you guys want to get through your stuff, and that's why I'm doing it different. I'm just picking out things. The big conversation I'm going to have with the public and the council is going to be at the budget address. And I just want to sprinkle the council with a little information before I go into 2019, that you're going to see increases in numbers in pension payments, in insurance, in other areas of town where, those are the things you can't expect. You don't know what's coming. You don't know that pension increase are going to go up 13%. You don't know insurance is going to go up 7 to 10%. You can't calculate these things, but they end up being hundreds of thousands to over $1 million, close to $2 million in increases. So we're going to have our work cut out for us over the next several months on balancing this budget. And I know I look forward to working with all of you to make sure we come up with the best budget we can for the citizens of Morristown. So let's talk about 2019 as I just gave them a little sprinkle of get ready, because it's going to be a little tight. Tighten your belts, because it's going to be a little bit of a change for 2019. First thing I want to talk about is traffic, and I will speak briefly on it. We're hoping to have a meeting with DOT on Thursday morning. I did receive a phone call today from the DOT stating that they may want to postpone the meeting for 4 to 6 weeks so the DOT commissioner can come to Morristown and get a first-hand look of what we're talking about and what we're dealing with here with DOT issues. I personally would like to keep that meeting Thursday morning. I have expressed that to the governor's office and to DOT that I would like to keep that meeting on traffic. Thursday, so I'll hopefully hear by tomorrow morning, and hopefully that'll still happen. If not, it'll just be delayed a month, and hopefully it still goes forward. And what I'm talking about is we know we've done this traffic study, we know we have the data, we know we have the clocks. Now we need DOT's engineers to work on the traffic signaling so we can get that first phase completed. And it's very difficult spending month after month working on trying to get these meetings with DOT to make sure their engineers understand what we need, what our ask is, and making sure it happens. So that's something that we're very focused on the first quarter of 2019, and we will make it happen. We will work very hard to make sure that they get their traffic signals fixed. And I'll end it with, I'll give you an example. If you go up Market Street and the light turns green, you turn right, it's green, but if you go to the left, try to get around the green, it's red. That's not how the traffic optimization should work. It should be green all the way through down to the train station. It should be green all the way through South Street for a period of time so it moves traffic through when it's supposed to. It's not supposed to go for 20 seconds and turn red, and you're stuck at Cadova, and then you go a block and it turns red and you're stuck at DeHart. It's off by over 300%. We know it. DOT knows it. We're going to work on making sure they get it fixed. We do not have control over their computer system, but we're hoping for some major changes with that in the first quarter. Hotel on Market Street's coming. Everybody remembers that. There's some work going to be happening behind the train station. The council approved a plan just a couple weeks ago with Beiju. Behind the train station, it's a wonderful development. They were very impressed, and it was a council supported it, and we look forward to coming up with the next phase of that. I want to publicly thank the public for coming out, especially with Morris Avenue development. They presented a storage center. A lot of the residents came out and said, that's not what we want. They went back to the drawing board. They came back with another development. They're still working that through. So I want to thank the public, which I think is important, and we've said that for 9 straight years. Without public input, you can't get what you need to get with certain projects without that input. One, it makes the project better. And 2, it makes it this town as a whole own that project. So I think the people that come to these council meetings, I want to thank them. People that come to our redevelopment meetings and planning board meetings and zoning board meetings. We know it's tough to get out of the house, but we thank the public that comes out and puts their input, the emails they send. It's important. It's important that there's a public process and that we're transparent and that we're open to hear their thoughts and ideas and get them implemented to make these projects better and more viable for the community. So I want to thank the public and all the volunteers, the dedicated volunteers that work on our boards and commissions, because that could not be possible without the dedicated volunteers in this community. Well, we'll switch now. Like I said, it's going to be different tonight. Does anybody walk down South Street? Right? You see the tree wells? You see the flexi pave we put in the tree wells? Everybody likes that, right? I haven't found anybody that hasn't liked that. We're going to do that throughout the whole business district. So 1, it's better for our tree canopy. It's healthier for the trees. It makes the street cleaner. It makes the sidewalks cleaner. It stops the runoff of water into the street because the ground gets so dry and it just runs into the street. This takes the water and pulls it down slowly, and it's better for the nutrients for the tree. It gets the water it needs, and it's better for our tree growth. So I was skeptical in the beginning, and I must say that Jillian Barrick pushed it, and I will say that I'm glad that I listened to her, which I normally do. And it's been a big home run. I've got a lot of people talking about it, and other communities are looking at doing it who come to Morristown and say, what is that? You know, and it's really a cool thing. Callaloo. Everybody saw Callaloo vacant for a decade or so, right? Now you see what's going on at Callaloo. There's development going on. It's 30 units and the retail on the bottom, but it's investment in our community. Everybody misses Callaloo, sitting outside in the summer, but it was also vacant for a long time, and it was an eyesore, and it was finally purchased, and now investment is taking place. Lot 10, another important factor in Morristown. So one of the things I hear as mayor all the time is parking. Can't find parking, Mayor. Well, you can find parking. There's parking in garages. A lot of people don't like to park in garages, but that's when you're a small town, you have garages. So working with the MPA, which is the Morristown Parking Authority, they are working on design and engineering of a new parking deck, which is called Lot 10. That's behind the Grasshopper, the post office, and behind Dunkin' Donuts. It's the most logical topology place to put, the topo to put the garage because it sits down, and I think everybody agreed, and working with Councilman Iannicone and other council members, that will be the future garage, and that will take a lot of stress off our downtown parking because the theater is so busy. They'll utilize that at night a lot, and that should free up a lot of parking in our central business district and even in DeHart, which is one of the most popular garages, the DeHart garage. Talking about DeHart, 11 DeHart opened up. That's a development across from Tashmu, the little bar next to the laundromat. It's opened and being occupied. We think it won an award, American Architects Association. What is it?
American Institute of Architects.
American Institute of Architects. It won that award. It is an interesting building. It was the last phase of the Epstein's redevelopment group that was back in 2000. I don't know when it was actually approved. I can't remember the date. In the between 2001 and 2005, and that was the final phase, Phase C. And we're glad that was completed, and it's been a huge success. So, here's something that is the first announcement. Be something new. I don't think the council is aware of this. So, working with the Planning Division and Atlantic Health, an RFQ has gone out into looking at the corridor on Madison Avenue by the hospital, the buildings that are at the hospital and the corridor, and we're looking at how we can make that a health and innovation corridor. It's been done in some other places in the country, and they've had huge success. I think Atlantic is very keen on the idea. It's been very successful in some other areas in the country. To think about having such a great hospital, if you've seen, I think they came out #1 in New Jersey. Atlantic Health came out #1 in New Jersey in the hospital, and they're in the top 20 in the country. Our CEO, Brian Granulotti, has just been named as the chairman of the American Hospital Association for the country. So we are looking at a very, very prominent hospital in our community, which we embrace, and to have a health and innovation and teaching corridor right here in Morristown, in an area that can definitely deal with it, because Atlantic owns a number of those buildings. It can be a big hit for our community. So we're looking at that with Atlantic and to see how that turns out. So we will keep you posted, council and public, on how that moves along. Let's see. Another important factor, and I want Kevin to have the front page of Morristown Green tomorrow. It is important that tomorrow night the freeholders at 7 o'clock are hosting a forum of information on the first phase of design for a new court complex they want to build for the county. We'll get our first taste of at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. That's at the Administration and Records Building. It's important that you go, that the public goes, because this could be a very big investment for our county. And therefore, who's going to pay for it? We all are going to pay for it, not just Morristown, but the whole county is going to pay for it. So we have to be at least apprised of what their plans are. I do not know what their plans are. They have not been calling my office, giving me information as far as what they want to build. I've heard numbers from $60 million to $120 million. I know it was briefly talked about during the freeholder election, but no details really came out. So we'll really get our first taste of what they want to build or what they're looking to do tomorrow night. So I urge any citizens that want to know what's going to happen with a new court complex, it could be huge, that we should really invest your time to go there. I'm going to be there at 7 o'clock tomorrow night to try to hear what they're presenting and have some input on how it affects Morristown. And I'm sure they're doing it for reasons that make sense, and we'll find out more tomorrow night. So hopefully the council, anybody on the council would like to join, I'll be there tomorrow at 7 o'clock. 27 new businesses opened up in 2018 in Morristown. Not bad, 27. It's all right. It's growth. We're doing well. The downtown's vibrant. There's a lot going on. So real quickly, public safety. In February, the public safety director will issue an annual report to the council. He's only been here for a few months, so it's hard to give it, he'll get all his data for the year, but issue an annual report. But some of the things I want to be aware of, I don't know if you remember, about 3 months ago, someone came to the council and talked about cyclists on the sidewalks. Does everybody remember that? 100 individuals have been stopped and talked to and educated on, since that night, on the orders of the public safety director to enhance the program of letting cyclists know what's proper and what's not proper. And I don't know, I'm around downtown a lot. I see a lot less cyclists, and I've seen cyclists, guys I used to see riding, walking with their bikes on the sidewalk. So over 100 have been stopped, and I want to thank the Wind of the Spirit and Brian Lozano. They developed an educational campaign to address cyclists riding on the sidewalks along South Street and the Green, and they've engaged over 100 individuals. And I want to thank the police department. Those are the quality of life issues that people talk about and they find to be important. And we want to let people know, we hear when the public come here and they talk about things that affect them. We don't just sit back and take it for granted that you're just coming out because you have a complaint, that we actually take action and do something about it. I can go on for another hour or two and talk about so many and Vij is looking at me like, no, don't do that. But it's really important that I stress that I don't take this position for granted, that every day, whether I'm here or at my other job, I'm connected to what's going on in the town. And when I'm here, like yesterday and today, I'm here from 8, 9 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night. Doesn't matter if it's a council meeting or not a council meeting. And we get the job done. And it wouldn't happen, though, if I didn't have our business administrator, Jillian Barrick, who I want to thank publicly, our CFO, Frank Mason, who I want to thank publicly, all our directors, our town engineer, Anthony, Al, all the different people that make our... Where'd the clerk go?
She's in the audience.
Oh.
Listening to you.
I was going to say, whoa, she got my name wrong and then left. Our clerk, our court, all the different things that make us click as a community, it's what it's all about. It's what makes Morristown, I think, the greatest place. And I know I'm pitching to the choir back here because they all want my seat eventually. Is being mayor of this community. Being mayor of this community, really. One day I won't be mayor, and I have no illusions about that. But while I'm here, I'm going to do what I've done for the last 9 years. Every day I wake up, I pinch myself, and I say, really, how lucky and how blessed am I to be the mayor of this community? It has been an amazing, amazing 9 years. And I've seen magical things happen in this community. I've seen growth. I've seen people's lives change. I've seen people be able to pick themselves up and change the course of their direction for their life and their family. I've just seen great things over this 9-year period. And we're going to continue to do it day in and day out. And I can't do it without people like Acting Chief Richardson, who's in the back, our Chief of Fire Department, Robert Flanagan, our prosecutor who's here, our public defender, our volunteer chief, it's what makes us all a community. It's not about that development's doing great, that pilot's really doing good. It's about what we bring to the citizenry as human beings to our community. And it's what we do every day. This is when my wife and I talk about it. What we do every day, in and out for this community, is what we're going to be remembered for a long time from now. And, you know, with my partner, my wife, and myself, we wish you all a happy new year, a prosperous and healthy one to all you and your families. And we wish a great year for the council and for the town of Morristown. And I look forward to working with every one of you on the upcoming next year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay. At this time, I'll take a roll call. Councilman Armington.
Here.
Councilwoman Davis. Here. Councilwoman Deeb.
Here.
Councilman Elms.
Present.
Councilwoman Foster.
Here.
Councilman Iannicone. Here. And Councilman Silva.
Present.
Okay. Next, I will open the floor for nominations for council president for the 2019 calendar year.
I'll nominate Sheba Foster.
I'll second it.
Any other nominations? I will close the nominations. On the nomination, on the election of Toshiba Foster as council president for calendar year 2019, Councilman Armington?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb?
Yes.
Councilman Elms?
Yes.
Councilwoman Foster?
Yes.
Councilman Iannicone?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Congratulations. At this time, I would like to issue you the oath of office. Please come up front.
Thank you, council. Mayor, you're it. My mom
Sure.
is-
I'd love to. I'd be honored.
In the absence of.
In the absence of her mom, I'm going to hold the Bible, but keep her mom in your prayers. She just had a major operation.
Yes.
And we wish her well and keep her in your thoughts and prayers.
Thank you.
Okay, raise your right hand, place your left hand on the Bible, please. Repeat after me. I state your name.
Toshiba Foster,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the President of the Town Council
of the President of the Town Council
for the year 2019
for the year
in the
2019
town of Morristown,
in the town of Morristown,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you to my council colleagues for entrusting me again to lead you as council president for another year. I am grateful for your support, and I thank you for all you've done to work with me and support me in 2018, and I look forward to working with you all collectively in 2019. So thank you. And I'll just say, just really quick, because I know the mayor had his address, and so I don't want to keep you too long. I'd just like to say that I've enjoyed serving the residents of Morristown during my role as council and as well as council president. We are a very diverse community. We're a fair, welcoming community, a community that's a city driven by great residents in the town. And so collectively, it's a great feeling to be able to work with the residents and to entrust in administration and all of our board professionals to kind of help us continue to move Morristown forward. So it's been a great journey and a great experience for me, I'll say, and I just enjoy serving you all as residents, and I look forward to us having a positive year and we will continue to work with the residents. I will continue to work with residents along with my council members to move Morristown forward. So thank you again, and I wish you all a healthy, as the mayor said, and prosperous new year. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, I'll open up the floor for nominations for Council Vice President for the calendar year 2019.
I'd like to nominate, self-serving, I'd like to nominate Hillary Davis.
Okay.
I'll second.
Hearing no other nominations, I will close the nominations on the election of Councilwoman Hillary Davis for Council Vice President for calendar year 2019. Councilman Armington?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb?
Yes.
Councilman Elms?
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
And Council President Foster?
Yes.
Congratulations, Councilwoman.
Thanks, guys.
If I could issue you your oath of office.
I'm popular today. It's an honor, it really is.
Okay. Do you want to raise your right hand, place your left hand on the Bible, and repeat after me, please? I state your name.
I, Hillary Davis,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
perform all the duties
of the office of the Vice President of the Town Council
of the office of the Vice President of the Town Council
for the year 2019
for the year 2019
in the town of
in the
Morristown,
town of Morristown.
to the best of my
To the
ability,
best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God. I'm not a big speech person like our council president, so it's kind of a hard act to follow, but I share the same sentiment. I really, I'm honored to work with this body. We agree, we disagree, but we always, get on the same page, which is a rarity, especially in local politics. We impact so many lives, and I'm just grateful that we're all working together for the same goal, and this is such a great town. This is my hometown. I mean, most of us have been here pretty much forever, and it's a great honor to work with Tim and Jillian and everybody just to make this town greater. Like every day, I'm just proud to be here. I moved back here when my daughter was born, because I just thought there's no other place in the world that I want to raise my kid than Morristown, New Jersey, and I'm just grateful to be here with all of you. Thank you.
That's a statement.
Okay. At this time, I will turn it over to Mayor Timothy Doherty for proclamation, Robert Carp Day, January 8th, 2019.
Cool. Bob, come on up. Mary, you want to join me?
Oh, Mary's here. I didn't see her.
Just want to move this out of the way. Don't trip over the wire. So, this is a little unusual, a little different, for me to bring my wife up here. But we both know Bob for a while now. And everybody knows my mom passed away in November. And my Christmas gift to my wife was a picture that Bob took of my mother and I at my first mayoral victory. I've known Bob for a while. He's been taking pictures for a while. I know Bob didn't expect this. And if you knew his dog, Bodie, you know how cool Bob is. But, Mary said to me, Bob's leaving. Bob's been here for 30 years and
Wow.
been a photographer for this area and other places for a long time. He's one of the best news photographers I've ever met. And in this community, at least for me, someone who, I walk our downtown a lot and I hit the coffee shop. And I would see Bob in the coffee shop a lot. And Bob, in my opinion, had the sense of what what I talked about earlier, what we all talk about in there, and I talk about every day, that we feel that this is a community, a real community. I go to a lot of places, and places are spread out. We just left a city in North Carolina. They're trying to implement the downtown, but it just doesn't have the feel and the community that Morristown does. And I know Bob feels how he feels about Morristown. So I said, we can do something nice, because you know when you're mayor, you can do a few things. And I'm gonna do a proclamation. So I'm gonna read this into the record, Mr. Carr, and then let you know that we're gonna miss you. So, here it is. Robert Bob Carr has retired after 29 years as a staff photographer and multimedia producer for Gannett, New Jersey Press Media Group. And where Bob received his BFA from Syracuse University and was named Photographer of the Year by New Jersey Press Photographers Association, and previously worked for the Associated Press and New York Newsday. And whereas Bob has traveled worldwide and covered many stories, including the 1999 Colombian earthquake and the 2000 government transfer of the Panama Canal, locally he covered the New York Jets, the Giants, the Mets, the Yankees, training camps, regular season, playoffs, and championships, as well as the New Jersey Nets and the Stanley Cup winning, who I work for, New Jersey Devils. Whereas he photographed the 9/11 attacks on New York City and its aftermath, both Hurricanes Irene and Sandy, and the effects of New Jersey. And whereas Bob is a veteran of 2 24-hour photo projects and is the author of the popular blog, The Photojournalist. And whereas in addition to photojournalism, Bob is a former competitive runner and Ironman triathlete. Bob lives in Morristown, New Jersey, but has plans to relocate to North Carolina along with his wife Claudia and their dog Bodie. Bodie's a cool dog. Now therefore, I, Timothy B. Doherty, Mayor of the town of Morristown, hereby proclaim January 8th as Robert Carp Day of the town of Morristown. We wish you great success and a great retirement.
We do this a different way? Hang on 1 second. You go in the back.
Mary will dictate like she always does. You got it? We got it. Up. What can they see? So have you ever seen the photo we took of the is it the Mandarin,
Oh, Doc.
the duck?
Commander Duck, yeah.
Have you seen that picture?
Yes.
It's amazing photo. How can people go see that?
The Doc.
Yeah.
Walk through Central Park.
See your picture. I'm going to New York City.
Oh, you could have, Twitter,
Your name?
Carp DR,
Bob Carp DR
or Photopub.
Photopup
Instagram.
Instagram.
Photo pop on
Photopup
Instagram.
Because it is
See?
an amazing picture.
Social media.
Amazing picture. All right, man. Well, listen.
Get on.
And I wish you great success. Okay. All right, man. Come back and see us at Smart World. You ought to see this picture. It's amazing. He's such a good guy.
Maybe the clerk can search it for us and just send it to the council.
Yeah.
I will
yeah,
do
it's
that.
amazing. Have you seen it?
I think so.
Yeah. It's amazing. You see that? It was all over the news. This picture. It's crazy.
Okay, moving on to mayor's appointments, I'll turn it over to.
Oh, wait.
Whoa,
You want me to finish up my thing or no?
that's later.
That's later? Okay. You got me all confused in this agenda.
Do you want to run through them?
No, Jillian told me to wait.
No,
not-
no, for your appointments. Do you want to just quickly go through your appointments, or?
No, I don't think so. You have them, right?
Yes,
No,
okay.
I don't have to read them, just my appointments.
Okay.
Alrighty, well, thank you. Thank you for your appointments for 2019.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to council appointments. We have a number of appointments to the various boards and commissions. At this time, I would open up the floor for nomination for appointment for a regular member of the Board of Adjustment, term ending December 31st, 2022.
I'd like to nominate Jeff Styles.
Second.
Yeah.
Hearing no other nominations, I will close the nominations. On the appointment of Jeff Stiles to a regular member of the Board of Adjustment, Councilman Armington,
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis,
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb,
Yes.
Councilwoman Elms.
Yes.
Councilman Elms, forgive me. Councilman,
Didn't even pick up on it this time.
Councilman Iannaccone. Councilman Silva.
Yes.
And Council President Foster.
You know, that's twice you've called him councilwoman.
Just saying.
I apologize, because I don't think that at all. I would open the floor for nominations for a second regular member to the Board of Adjustment, term ending December 31st, 2022.
I'd like to nominate Noel Nish.
Second.
At this time, I will close the nominations on the appointment of Noel Nish for a regular member, Board of Adjustment. Councilman Armington?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb?
Yes.
Councilman Elms?
Yes.
Councilman Iannaccone?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Council President Foster?
Yes.
Motion carries. I'll open the floor for nominations for the alternate one for the Board of Adjustment, term ending December 31st, 2020.
I'd like to nominate Christopher Hayes.
Second.
Hearing no other nominations, I will close on the appointment of Christopher Hayes for the Board of Adjustment, alternate one. Councilman Armington?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb?
Yes.
Councilman Elms?
Yes.
Councilman Iannaccone?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
And Council President Foster?
Yes.
Appointments made. I would entertain a nomination for alternate two to the Board of Adjustment for an unexpired term ending December 31st, 2019.
I'd like to nominate Beth Wall.
I'll second it.
I'd like to nominate Stephen Polichik.
Any others? Okay, I will close the nomination, and going in alphabetical order, I will start with Mr. Polipchuk. Councilman Armington?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
No.
Councilwoman Deeb?
Yes.
Councilman Elms?
No.
Councilman Iannaccone?
No.
Councilman Silva?
No.
Council President Foster?
No.
Okay, on the appointment of Ms. Wall, Councilman Armington?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb?
Yes.
Councilman Elms?
Yes.
Councilman Iannaccone?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Council President Foster?
Yes.
Ms. Wall receives the appointment. Okay, I would ask for a nomination for a Commissioner of the Parking Authority for term ending December 31st, 2023.
I'd like to nominate Anthony Lucia.
I'd like to
second
second.
Can I have a comment on this one, please? Kerry Lord has withdrawn his application for the position, but in the process, I'd like to thank Kerry for his years of service on the Board of Adjustment. And Kerry withdrew his application because he's going to be doing two things. One, he works very closely with building homes in Guatemala, which he's going to continue to do. And he was recently appointed to the board there. And secondly, Kerry is going to be doing a scholarship for raising money for a scholarship for a wrestler for Morristown High School.
Cool.
Terrific. Okay, hearing no other nominations, I will close. On the appointment of Mr. Lucia for Parking Authority Commissioner, Councilman Armington?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb?
Yes.
Councilman Elms?
Yes.
Councilman Iannaccone?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Council President Foster?
Yes.
Appointment is made. I would entertain a nomination for a Commissioner on the Housing Authority for an unexpired term ending September 5th, 2023.
I'd like to nominate Cecilia Hale.
I'd like to nominate Nathan Umbriak,
Pardon me, is this for the one that ends in?
9/5/2023.
23.
Okay.
I second it.
Umbriak?
Yes.
Okay. Hearing no other nominations, I'll close. let's see, going in alphabetical.
Can I withdraw Cecilia Hale?
Okay, Ms. Hale is withdrawn. On the appointment of Mr. Umbriack to the Housing Authority, Councilman Armington.
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis.
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb.
Yes.
Councilman Elms.
Yes.
Councilman Iannicone.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
And Council President Foster.
Yes.
Mr. Umbriack is appointed. Also, for nomination for Commissioner on the Housing Authority for an unexpired term ending September 5th, 2020.
I'd like to nominate Carolina Opondo.
Second?
I'd like to nominate Cecilia Hale.
Okay, hearing no other nominations, going in alphabetical order on the appointment of Ms. Hale to the Housing Authority, Councilman Armington,
No.
Councilwoman Davis,
No.
Councilwoman Deeb,
Yes.
Councilman Elms,
No.
Councilman Iannicone,
No.
Councilman Silva,
No.
Council President Foster.
No.
On the appointment of Ms. Opondo to the Housing Authority, Councilman Armington,
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis,
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb,
Yes.
Councilman Elms,
Yes.
Councilman Iannicone,
Yes.
Councilman Silva,
Yes.
Council President Foster.
Yes.
Ms. Opondo receives the appointment. And then lastly, I would entertain nominations for a regular member of the SMCMUA Water Authority for a term ending February 1st, 2024.
I would
I'd
like
like-
to,
Go ahead. I'd like to nominate Don Kissel.
I'll second.
Hearing no other nominations, on the appointment of Mr. Kissel, Councilman Armington.
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis.
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb.
Yes.
Councilman Elms.
Yes.
Bless you.
Councilman Iannicone.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Council President Foster.
Yes.
Mr. Kissel is hereby reappointed.
Okay, thank you, council members. Moving on to council liaison appointments. I'll start with the Morris County CDRS. I'd like to reappoint Councilman David Silva. The liaison to the Housing Authority, I'd like to reappoint Councilwoman Hillary Davis. The liaison to the Parking Authority, I'd like to reappoint Councilman Bob Iannicone. For the Town Partnership, Councilman Michael Ellis. I'd like to reappoint you. Moving on to the Environmental Commission, I'd like to reappoint Councilwoman Allison Deeb. And for the liaison for the Planning Board, Councilman Stefan Armington.
Great.
Moving on to regular business.
Okay, we're moving on to regular business. We have 28 resolutions for adoption this evening. Unless a member of council would like to pull one or several out for special or separate consideration, I would ask for a motion to approve resolutions 1 through 28, 2019, en masse.
I'd like to make a motion to approve resolutions 1 through resolutions R28 en masse.
I'll second.
Second. Okay. Councilman Armington?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb?
Yes.
Councilman Elms?
Yes.
Councilman Iannicone?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Council President Foster?
Yes.
Motion carries. We have one item on the consent agenda, and that is for the approval of minutes from the December 18th, 2018 Town Council regular meeting.
Motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Councilman Armington?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb?
Yes.
Councilman Elms?
Yes.
Councilman Iannicone?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
And Council President Foster?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. You're gonna do what? Move the mic. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. All right, at this time, we have a public hearing on the Family Promise of Morris County CDBG grant application, homeless prevention / homeless stabilization. We have Joanne, I don't know how to pronounce the last name, yes. Would you like to come for us and give us a little bit of information on this grant application?
Hi, everyone. I'm Joanne Bjornson. I'm the Executive Director of Family Promise of Morris County. I'm also proud to say that I live in Morristown for about the past year and a half. I'm in Ward 2, so nice to meet you, Councilwoman. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you, Margot. Thank you, Mayor Tim. And it's really important for us to be here because we are very important in Morristown for the people that we serve. Thank you again also for the affordable housing that everyone has approved. The residents that we work with in Morristown have already benefited from your affordable housing. We serve people in the community through a variety of programs. I've actually been with Family Promise now for 15 years. Last year, we celebrated our 30th year anniversary, so we're very excited to be part of the community in multiple different levels. When I started, there was a budget of $200,000 and 3 staff, including myself. Our budget right now for 2019 is about $1.2 to $1.5 million with 15 staff, 5 social work interns, and we served over 1,000 people last year in our community, most right here in Morristown.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. It's really part of a community. We all work together, so it's not just us. That's really what Family Promise is about, is working with the mayor, working with our community, working with Houses of Faith, working with our partnership right in downtown. So we really have 2 kind of programs, areas where we focus. One is on housing, and so that is our emergency shelter program, where we work with houses of worship, and we house anywhere from 40 to 50 families a year through the Morristown area and Morris County. You may have heard of, maybe your congregation is part of Family Promise. We work with a lot of local congregations. Well, we are not a faith-based organization, though. So we really have a lot of volunteers through the congregations. About 1,600 of our volunteers come through our congregation partners. Our other housing programs include Abigail House, which is a program for people impacted by domestic violence and is transitional housing, and we're about to turn that into permanent supportive housing. So we're very excited for the people that live there. Transitional housing is very challenging. You live there for 2 years, you have to move, you have to change where your kids go to school. So that's something that we're just about to do, working with Christ Church in Rockaway. The other program that we have is our community support program, and that again is housing people in the community. We have 60 households in the community where we have housing vouchers for, working with Morristown Housing, Morris County Housing, working with Department of Community Affairs and HUD, where we apply for vouchers and house people that are homeless, whether they're families or single individuals, and then continue to stay with them and provide in-home case management for whatever they need to maintain their housing. Our other set of programs is our outreach programs. Our outreach programs are a little bit different. They're not necessarily focused on housing, but they do work with people that have precariously a housing situation, that may be a financial situation, that may have other concerns or other challenges in the community. And we have a lot of programs that address a wide variety of needs. Right now, our Promise Drop-In Center is right across the street from the courthouse. So you may know where that is, in the First Baptist Church. Last year, as I said, we served 1,000 people. 600 of them came from the Our Promise location. And so Our Promise serves people that you may see in Morristown that are street homeless, or that you may identify or think of as street homeless or living outside. And we serve a lot of people that are living in rooming houses, single room occupancy areas, and people that are living in shelters, and really connecting them to services and programs, whatever they may need. We work with Zufall Health Center, we work with the Mark Street Mission, Atlantic Health System, and really any partners in the community to connect people to those services. Some of our other outreach programs are called Single Stop. I don't know if anyone's heard of FedCap. FedCap empowers Single Stop. They're a national organization, and Single Stop is new technology that allows us to go into people's homes, into the community. People can come into the drop-in center. We can go on the Hope One van, if you know the Hope One van. We do that a lot and partner with the sheriff, and we can have people apply for services right there. So TANF and SNAP and WIC, the food stamps basically. They can apply for earned income tax credit on the road in the community. So we're now taking our new van, Navigating Hope, which we were just awarded from the county just a couple months ago, taking that out across Morris County. So not just in the Morristown area, we're going to be going to places like Netcong and Bud Lake, and areas that are farther for people to reach. Maybe they don't have transportation or weekend transportation. And that van goes out twice a week and sometimes to events. So we go to the local Morristown pool, we go to Night Out in Morris, we go to a lot of other places where people may not necessarily seek services, like even a Walmart. We park the van and we really connect with people. The next program that we are working on is sorry, I just forgot for a second, is our, in addition to single stop and our drop-in center is the Navigating Hope. So we combine the Navigating Hope and the single stop, and that way we can pick single stop and put it on the van. So we're not just going to people's homes or they're not just coming to us, we're really moving that out in the community. And so we have an application in for Community Development Block Grant.
Thank you.
Cool.
Can you spell your last name for the record?
Sure,
please?
it's Bjornson, Bjornson.
Now, how does someone contact your organization for
I gave you a pamphlet, and I have information. They can just go on our website, www.familypromisemorris.org. You can also go to the First Baptist Church. Yep, pamphlet's right there. And can reach me directly
that's what this
as the executive director, or can reach any of our staff. So if any of you, as councilmen and women in the community, see someone in need, see people that are homeless, connect them to us. We probably already know them and work with them. We work with Chief Flanagan back there. Hi, Chief. For the Morristown Warming Center. So many of you have probably heard about the Warming Center, Code Blue. We started working with the Morristown Fire Department to really help them connect. If people are homeless, they're in the street. We don't want them to die, of course. We want them to also have services. And so what does a warming center mean? It's really about bringing community together. So working with Mayor, working with Chief Flanagan, we go into the warming center providing access to food and case management and toiletries and those concrete needs that people need to kind of survive. And our drop-in center does that too, with a local address, with computers, charging stations, phones, restrooms even, because you wouldn't really think about maybe someone doesn't have a phone charging station.
Is your headquarters at First Baptist?
Oh, no, that's one of our headquarters, yes. We have another location in the Central Park complex. Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate the pamphlet. I just wanted you to put the information on a record for residents.
Yes,
who,
thank you.
Aren't here to get the packet, but
Thank you for your questions.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
My email is on here. If I can be of any assistance, just reach out. Thanks.
At this time, I'd like to open up for public hearing. If there are any members of the public wishing to be heard
On family
on
problem.
this grant application. Seeing none, I'll close the public portion on that hearing. Okay, now we have Zufall Health Wellness Center CDBG grant application, office space refurbishment. Do we have Eva? How do you pronounce it, I'm sorry?
Hi, Turbiner, Turbiner. So I'm Eva Turbiner. I'm the CEO at Zufall Health Center, and we're honored to be a part of the not-for-profit community here in Morristown. I also am a resident of Morristown, I think First Ward. I think that's where I live, about a block from here. So Zufall Health Center, for those of you who may not know us, we are a community health center. We were founded in 1990, originally in Dover. We are now in 6 counties in northern and central New Jersey. Last year, we served 40,000 patients with medical, dental, behavioral health, and supportive services, 150,000 visits to our facilities, including 2 mobile vans. We've been in Morristown since 2009, so almost 10 years now, and our practice here has really thrived. Last year, we served 8,500 patients at that site with 26,000 visits, and it's a small site. We're located over at the corner of Washington and Atno. Of our patients who come to the Morristown office, about half, about 4,300, actually are residents of the town of Morristown. And that's a pretty significant number if you think about Morristown's not that big a place. And we are focused on serving the poor. So about 90% of our patients have incomes under 200% of federal poverty. About half of our patients are uninsured, and we provide services to folks regardless of their ability to pay. So we have a sliding fee schedule, we take Medicaid, we get a lot of charity care, and we are able to put together an array of comprehensive services leading to some of the best clinical outcomes in the state. So we're really proud of what we do. We are thrilled. We participate with the Mayor's Wellness Committee. We are out and about all the time, and really have provided a wonderful service to this community. One of our facilities is a wellness center, and it used to be Pamir, I think, way back in the day. It used to be a restaurant. We took it over probably about 8 years ago and converted it into a facility that isn't providing so much clinical services, but is providing a focus on health and wellness. So we redid the restaurant's kitchen, and now we have a beautiful demonstration kitchen where we are able to teach healthy cooking on a budget. We provide education to SNAP beneficiaries. We provide exercise classes. We do outreach and enrollment into the Affordable Care Act marketplace plans. We enroll people into Medicaid. We house an AmeriCorps program that has 10 volunteers who spend a year with us doing outreach and health education in this community. So that center is the focus of our community development block grant application. For this year, we are looking to refurbish the facility. We need a little more confidential space to do some of our health education and enrollment into various benefits. And we are seeking, I think it's $57,000 from the county program. That program over the years has been a godsend to us. I hope you guys here in Morristown really understand the benefit it provides to the not-for-profits in town. It really allows us one of the few sources of capital to keep our facilities up to date, modern, safe, clean, free from infection. So we're really very proud of what we're doing here, and thank you all for your ongoing support. I didn't bring materials tonight. I really kind of forgot to do that, but we are over at the corner, as I say, of Atno and Washington. We'll be happy to send materials out to anybody that would like. I know many of you have been to visit the facilities. I invite everyone to come and see the wonderful work that our doctors and nurses and dentists and social workers do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
Do you have a website?
We do. It is zufallhealth.org.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Any members of the public wishing to speak regarding this grant application? Seeing none, I close the public hearing. Now I'll open up our regular public hearing for any member of the public that wishes to be heard on any other matter. I'll start to my right and I'll go from my left to right. You can come forth. Yes.
Good evening. My name is John Madden. I'm an owner and resident on 28 Grant Street. And I usually like to speak off the cuff, but I'm going to actually read from a letter that I wrote to Councilman Armington, and we had a little talk on the phone. It's basically the issue is the parking and the parking permits on Grant Street. I recently came to Town Hall to get my street parking permit for 2019 and found that the procedure for applying is somewhat more stringent than it was last year. At first, I was a bit annoyed as I had to come back with additional information. However, after returning and after talking to the clerk, I was persuaded that the new procedure is actually a sound idea. Apparently, there have been many people with out-of-state plates and/or non-residents who have been parking illegally and preventing homeowners and residents from having access on their own streets throughout town. I myself have had difficulty parking many times, but had just assumed it was volume and timing. Upon closer inspection, I noticed that at least 30% of the cars regularly parking on Grant Street have no permit, have no visitor pass, and in a few cases have New York and Pennsylvania plates. While I applaud the new permit application policy, I fear there are a couple of issues that will keep it from being fully effective. I am here to find out how to proceed in order to remedy the situation and make the new permit parking initiative fully effective. The first is that cars, often with out-of-state plates, are parking with impunity for multiple days without permits or visitor passes. While there should be more vigilant patrolling and ticketing of these offenders, it may not be practical or cost-effective. The second is of greater concern and consequence. The signage on Grant, Columba, Cleveland, and Harrison is somewhat ambiguous and seems to encourage illegal parking. The sign reads 2-hour parking Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. This seems to give the go-ahead to park from 4 p.m. throughout the evening and overnight until 8 a.m. Without a permit or visitor pass. If this were the case, then the permits would actually be more effective during the workday hours when most people are at work anyway. This situation needs to be remedied by adding additional signage that says permit parking only 4 p.m. to 8 a.m. Monday through Sunday. These permit parking overnight signs currently exist on Pine Street and King Street, a district with a layout, population density, and demographic very much like the Grant Street neighborhood. I've been told that this is to address illegal parking near the train station. However, the same exact signage exists in the Wetmore, Collis, Miller neighborhood. This is a more affluent neighborhood with a much lower population density, larger lots with driveways or on-site parking, and very little on-street parking use or need. I understand that the reason for these signs is in the historic district is to curtail late-night South Street bar overflow, et cetera. Whether these signs are to curtail overflow train parking or bar overflow, the residents of King Street section and historical district still receive a quality of life benefit from the existence of these signs. I would like to see these additional permit parking signs added onto the posts of Grant Street and the adjoining streets of our neighborhood. This signage would give the permits greater value, ensure the greater accountability of the residency that you are seeking, and assist in times of snow removal, leaf removal, and other posted road closings. This is a simple and inexpensive fix that is much simpler and cheaper than constant patrol. Please let me know if and when this can be done and how I should proceed. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Oh, yes, Linda.
Hello, I'm Linda Carrington, 49 McCullough Avenue, and I have 3 action items. I have requests for you to act. Item number 1 should be fun. Last month, I talked to you about the design guidelines, which were enacted in 2006, and most of you weren't here in 2006. So I ask that you arrange that the planner or another appropriate person give the council a presentation on the design guidelines. It's just basically a show and tell, and it might be informative and an interesting way to pass a few minutes. Last month, I talked to you about cell phone dead zones in new buildings, and Councilman Silva pointed out the new hospital apartments on Franklin Street at Todd Place was a cell phone dead zone. So I would like you to change the building checklist so that developers or builders certify that their buildings can provide cell phone reception. And the last request is similar. Even builders in New York are taking action to reduce bird collisions with glass in their new buildings. In daylight, birds crash into windows because they see reflections of vegetation, or they see through the glass to potted plants or vegetation on the other side. At night, nocturnal migrants, including most songbirds, crash because they fly into lighted windows. So what can you do about that? Well, I've actually brought some material for you. I would like you to amend the Green Building Questionnaire to include the question, what actions will you take to mitigate this problem? And this list is several items that architects can work on to mitigate bird collision with glass. And you're looking at new buildings on Morris Street at the train station, and we had an application on Schuyler with a lot of glass. And lastly, along with that, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife has published an 18-page booklet entitled Reducing Bird Collisions with Buildings and Building Glass Best Practices. So again, I hope you will add this to the Green Building Questionnaire or to some sort of procedure so that applicants who are putting in new buildings will be aware of this problem. Thank you. And I'll give these to you.
Certainly. Thank you.
Marge?
Margaret Brady, 1 Franklin Place, Morristown. I'm speaking to you tonight as a commissioner of the Parking Authority. I want to thank you for reappointing Tony Lucia, and I thought you might find it interesting that when Tony first came on the Parking Authority, he had only been there a few years, and his uncle or a relative was the attorney, and 2 other relatives were on the authority. And the town asked the authority to build the headquarters plaza parking garage, fund it, and said, don't worry, because if you can't make the payments on the bond, the town is responsible for those payments and will cover your losses. He felt, as a responsible citizen of Morristown, that a good parking authority, even though the town is responsible for their debt, should offer to benefit the town and not cost the town. And when the vote came up, there were 5 commissioners. It was 2-2, and he cast the deciding vote not to let the parking authority do it. The newspapers wrote a story about him at that time, and the headline was "Profile and Courage," because they knew what he had to go through as part of the Italian community in Morristown that was very tight-knit. He's been a steady force ever since and takes great pride in the fact, as we all do, that the parking authority has been not only self-sufficient, has never asked the town for a dime, but has also been able to contribute considerable services and funds. We rent our buildings to nonprofits and then require that they make payments in lieu of taxes, so that we even get our nonprofits to contribute to the town coffers. And again, thank you.
Thank you, Marge.
Thank you, Marge.
Good evening. My name is Bill Byrne, and what I'm going to be... it's 100 Franklin Street, Morristown, New Jersey, and what I'm going to be talking about is the lighting. The lighting's very poor out there on Franklin Street. I mean, half of the lights are out, and on the other side of the bridge, it's a joke, because we got one side fixed, and I mean, this is like really a joke here. I mean, how long have I been coming up and talking about this problem? And I hear, well, it's the state's responsibility. Well, if it's the state's responsibility, we gotta make sure that we make the state accountable and getting those lights fixed. The other side, the lights are okay, but you walk up Franklin Street here, I mean, it's black, and somebody's going to get hurt. Thank you.
So,
Thank you, Bill.
Council President, can I interject really quick? Billy, can I?
Sure.
Just want to let you know, JCP&L did the one side that are on. DOT is responsible for the other lights. We have, I can't tell you how many times we are pushing DOT to get those lights fixed. It is, now I'm not going to take any shots. We're just as frustrated as you are.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
If there are no other members of the public wishing to be heard, at this time, I'll close the public portion. Council responses from public hearing comments?
I'd like to address Mr. Madden's comments about parking on Grant Street. As I understand it, the parking ordinance on Grant Street, it only restricts parking from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. It does not restrict parking other times. The ordinance which the town would have to prove to implement a parking restriction during the overnight time period as I recall, as I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, is one showing that the density of parking, 65% of capacity is filled, but also more importantly, that proof that non-residents are parking on the street. And it's not clear how that happens.
Well, also, the biggest problem in Columba and two of the streets adjacent to it is parking at nighttime. Many of the houses don't have driveway, and when people come late from work or other meetings or church, the very residents of those streets don't find a place to park their own cars. There are many other cars there, and some of them with license plates from other states and so on. Some people who have driveway and have two cars, they park one car in the driveway and one out with no consideration. So I think it's a big issue that people driving around and see where they can park and parking 2-3 blocks away, far away from house and so on.
At the same time, last year I did do a survey of the total number of available parking spaces available on the street and the total number of units of housing, and I believe there's more units of housing than available parking spaces. So if everyone got one space, that would fill, per unit, that would fill the whole area. So it is definitely a challenge. I know that it has been discussed in the past with Council President's permission. I'd like to maybe create a committee, Pastor Silva and me and anyone else who's interested.
I'd like to serve on that.
Okay. To work with the administration to see what, if anything, can be done. I think, especially in that area, it is a huge challenge because of the
One-way streets too, so.
well, but more because the density of housing is greater than the available on-street parking, and so it presents challenges. Forcing people to park behind other cars in the driveways is not convenient, especially if you don't know when people are leaving. So I'm just saying that it poses challenges, and I think it'd be a good idea to discuss it and see if we can come up with a solution.
Along those lines, I just wanted to see if you could forward a copy of that letter to the council members, because there seemed to be a lot of good points, and
I have the
yeah, I'd like to see that. And I know that you mentioned the density in my ward or my district. I think you specifically mentioned Wetmore and Collis areas. And while we might not have the density issue as Grant has, and Columba and around there is still a density issue too. So I guess it's all relative. So I'd like to try to work that issue out as well, because over the weekend I did receive some comments back from some constituents who are still having problems. So I did want to try to work that out as if we can. So I appreciate being named on the committee. Thank you.
For the administration, have any comments?
As far as Grand Columbia, Bellevue, we've walked that area more than once, and we did notice a lot of driveways with no cars in it. The problem is, and we have to find a solution that works, is one is I've just told the business administrator to make sure the police are on top of, the public safety directors here, on top of the out-of-state license plates. I think the law is they have 30 days if they're licensed, they have 30 days to turn their registration. I think it's 30 days into New Jersey.
30 days.
30 days. So we want to make sure that's being enforced. And
30 days?
Yeah. So the problem starts with this. When the housing stock was built,
6 months.
people didn't have 4 cars per household. That's the first issue you have to deal with. When you have 2 or 3 grown children who have driver's licenses, they want their own cars. These houses were built at an era when there was not 4 cars in per household. And that's one of the tougher spots on these smaller, tight streets with houses that are basically 8 feet apart per driveway. They're stacked very closely. They're not large homes, but they have families, and everybody wants their car. So it does cause a problem. Grant does not have residential parking, if I understand it. Does not have residential parking at. Mr. Madden still here? Yes. They don't have residential parking at night. Overnight.
We can't have any comments.
Hold
from
on.
the public.
I'm just making comments. You're correct with Wetmore, and the area had an overflow of bars, but just for the information, Wetmore Avenue is a very long street with many multifamilies, and trust me, there's times I can't park anywhere near my house. But I make sure my tenants, a few apartments are off the street in the driveway. So it is a balancing act. We will again go look at that area, look and make sure enforcement is done, make sure that we're not overcrowding, make sure our property maintenance and zoning get through there, and come back and work with the committee, seeing if we can find some type of solution for some overflow parking. We got to make sure that, though, people are parking that's supposed to be parking on Grant Street. I don't know if you can do the permit, like the councilman said, if you took everybody that was available for a permit that lived on Grant Street, you wouldn't have enough parking on Grant Street. So let the council work with the administration and see if we can come up with some type of solution that alleviates some of the stress and pressure on Grant and those side streets, and see if we can come up with a solution.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
I'd like to comment on Linda Carrington's 3 points. Would it be possible, Council President, to have a presentation scheduled with our planning consultant to go over the design guidelines that were changed in 2006 at a future council meeting?
We can work with the minister.
Actually, at the last council meeting, we talked about this, and one of the things we were talking about doing was taking a look at the 2006 design standards, maybe working with the planning board and other people in the community to see the relevancy, maybe to update it and/or to reinforce because it was a part of the zoning code, wasn't addressed when we did the new land use ordinance. So, I don't know, thoughts, Mayor, on how we can review that?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk to Phil. We'll set something up.
Okay. And the cell phone dead zones, I was here when we passed the redeveloper checklist, and I thought that was a really great idea to add that. Mayor, would it be possible to add as a line item on that checklist that developers will certify that the building will have cell phone coverage?
I'm going to look more into that. I don't really know that much about it. I know I heard the councilman's comments on a building that was built down by the hospital. I'll talk to some of the buildings that we have. I have not received many complaints. As a matter of fact, honestly, I've never received a complaint about someone having a problem with a dead zone in an apartment they're living in. I'll bring that up to the hospital because I think they own that building. I'll look into it more before we make a commitment on making a change on a change list. I don't know if that's a problem that's occurring. I'm looking into it.
It seems like a reasonable thing to at least have as part of the checklist.
I don't know how you certify if someone says my cell phone has a cheap cell phone and doesn't have good reception.
Right.
It has a burner phone or something. It doesn't get good reception to begin with, or their carrier is a Walmart carrier,
Right.
or not a national carrier, and they don't get. No, I'm just saying that.
Right.
I'm not picking on Walmart, but I'm just saying that you can get a carrier because it's very costly to have Verizon and other phones, AT&T, and you get a phone that's only $19 a month, and you got unlimited data and unlimited texting, but you can't connect to anything. Then what are you going to say? You're going to say that, this building doesn't carry cell phone. I think it's an area that we have to do a little bit more research. I'll have the lawyers do a little research. We'll do a little research, and we'll get back to you on that question.
And then thirdly, on the bird preservation, on mitigating bird collisions, I actually have a personal story about this because I was at a resident's house in town, and the birds were just flying right into the glass window. And so it is a problem. I'm just wondering, could our planner look into whether or not that's addressed in our sustainability checklist or anything like that?
Yeah,
Because
it's come up before over the years.
If I may, I'll speak with the chairman of the planning board and see how he feels it would be best addressed.
Okay.
Whether it's, consider or discuss or something like that. So I'll bring it up with the planning board.
Okay, thank you.
All right, moving on to report of mayor and town officials.
Okay, quickly, you'll see an attached, you should have got a letter from the Morris County Prosecutor's Office on December 10th. It should be in your packet. A combination letter from the Morris County Prosecutor's Office to for the assistance of the Morristown Police Bureau in the investigation of a cocaine distribution network. I don't want to read the letter to the record, but if you get a chance, it should be in your packet. I want to thank the Prosecutor's Office and the MPD for all their assistance and what they do day in and day out. Past events, first night Morris, we had a little rain, but it was still well attended, and the fireworks went off, even though the government was shut down. I don't know how they did it, but the fireworks went off. Fort nonsense. That's all I'm saying on that. Kevin, don't print that. I get myself in trouble. Wednesday, January 9th, again, it is very important at 7 o'clock to hold, there's a public session from the freeholders on the courthouse expansion at the County Administration Records Building. I will be in attendance at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. I hope some council members can come. I don't know what they're proposing. I think we all need to find out what they're proposing, especially this is a center of our town, a very important, it will have an effect on all our traffic and everything else that goes on in Morristown if they're looking to build a $120 million complex. So we have to really pay close attention and be involved in this. And I do believe they have reached out for us to be involved in it. Finally, January 13th, mark your calendar, Sunday, 10 a.m., Morristown Jewish Center celebrates their 20th anniversary kickoff. That's Sunday, 10 a.m., January 13th. On the 17th of January, 6:30 to 8:30, there's a free tax prep workshop at the Morristown and Morris Township Library at 6:30 to 8:30, free tax prep. So that's an important thing. If you need help with your tax preparation beads, it's open to you too to go. You're welcome.
He's the speaker.
He's a speaker? Oh, boy, we're all in trouble. On January 21st, Town Hall will be closed. Observance of Martin Luther King Day. Again, that's the 21st, it's closed. And then the 34th Annual Interfaith Breakfast, MLK commemorative service at the Hyatt in Morristown. For tickets, email Martin Luther King Observance Committee at mlkobsvcommnj.aol.com or call 732-309-8894. Well, this will be on the website, correct? This will be on our website, so you can get that. Now, Council President, do you want to make a comment about that for the 21st?
Yeah, if there are any council members that would like tickets for the MLK breakfast, you can just see me afterwards, and we can make arrangements to collect your payment and get you tickets.
How much are the tickets?
$35. And the breakfast starts at 8 o'clock, and it's at the Hyatt in Morristown.
Yeah, it'd be good to get a table.
Yeah.
I'd like a ticket.
Okay.
Yeah.
And afterwards, it's the service at Calvary.
Services at Calvary afterwards, and it's a great celebration, and it's only a couple hours, 3 hours, I think.
Yeah, like 2.5 hours.
Why is everybody laughing at that? I think that's what.
It's true.
Still a test.
I have, Allison came to one, I believe was the year before. And she said to me, she's like, wow, church was so long. So I said, really? This was a really short service.
I'm used to long services too.
Yeah.
But not as long.
Not that long.
It's so good.
Yeah, that's the whole day.
Like, I don't even have to be there at work.
Oh, you're not closed?
No. So, and final, again, wishing everybody a happy, healthy new year and looking forward to a great working relationship for the year 2019 with the council. And I also want to just mention, I didn't mention it in my opening statements, the public safety director had come here a few months ago and talked about getting the police department accredited, which is an important move for our community to have an accredited police department. That is in movement. We've had our meeting with the Rogers Group. That is now happening, and it's a process, but you're going to see a lot of changes over the next year, and I can't wait for his annual report in February. And after that, you'll get quarterly reports from the public safety director for your own. Okay, thank you.
We've already seen changes.
Yep.
Since he's been here, we're happy.
Yep. That's it for me.
Council President, I just have a follow-up question for the mayor and administration. Last year, I had requested that we get a presentation on the hydrology report for Foots Pond. I did receive a copy of the report. It's like this thick, and it's pretty technical. It's beyond my area of expertise. It would really be helpful to get a presentation, I think, for the council, or if you want to do a subcommittee, environmental subcommittee with council members that are interested. If not everybody's interested, if we could work that out, I'd appreciate it. And we don't have to talk online. Just if we could work that out at a future meeting. And then I did get an email. I sent you an email on the home. Yeah. The new, I forgot their new name. Cohome. So the comments that were provided by Mitchell Coburn were really extensive and extremely substantial. So I just wanted to make sure those had been received and that a date had been requested. So
yes, I received the comments, and I also responded to Anne-Marie directly regarding any additional comments from the neighborhood to provide it to us, and we'll take them under advisement. And as far as the Environmental Commission, they actually had their meeting tonight. Yeah, and they're planning to come to the council with a presentation at a later date.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll follow up with you.
So regarding Cohome, there will be another neighborhood meeting scheduled?
No.
Not at this time. We're going to
Okay.
take comments in writing and then and review them and go from there.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. All right, moving on to council liaison reports. This is our first meeting of the year. I don't know.
Actually, Parking Authority had their reorganizational meeting earlier this evening, tonight, at the meeting. And again, I think it's, like the mayor was saying, it's the community, and it's the people that step up. At the meeting, Jimmy Gervasio was appointed chair, Marge Brady, vice chair, Dick Tye, treasurer, Anthony Lucia, secretary, and Linda Stamato, assistant secretary. They also reappointed their various councils and consultants for the year. Again, I'm glad the mayor brings up, because parking is going to be an issue with an expansion or possible expansion or increased employees with the courthouse. Currently, a lot of that is shared with the Bank Street Garage. Ownership of the Bank Street Garage is a shared ownership, so it's going to be interesting what impact that development might have on the parking here in town, and parking's always an issue. Also, and this was just some good news, one of the concerns with reference to Lot 10 was the appearance of Lot 10, given its location in the center of town. So the Parking Authority this evening did authorize the retention of a second architect, because again, the first architect's looking at the structure of a garage, the integrity of a garage, how a garage actually operates, but an architect that's actually going to look at the exterior of the garage and what's going to be the appearance of the garage, given its critical location in the center of town and so visible from areas such as the train station and other parts of town. So, good things. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
We have a reorg for the planning board?
Oh, yes,
tomorrow night?
yes. There's a reorg meeting for the planning board on Thursday. So if you want to attend, Thursday at 7 p.m. What's that?
201.
At 201.
Yeah.
Morristown Partnership meets tomorrow for the first time this year at 8 a.m.
Yeah. And I think the Environmental Commission is meeting.
They met tonight,
Okay.
so.
All right, so if no council members have any calendars of events they'd like to share with the public? on to regular business.
Okay, excuse me, we have one ordinance on the agenda for adoption, and that's ordinance O-1 dash,
Introduction.
Introduction.
what did I say?
Adoption.
Option.
Oh, excuse me, sorry. Ordinance for introduction, ordinance O-1-2019, and ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 2 Administration.
I'd like to make a motion to introduce ordinance number O-1-2019.
I'll second it.
Are there any comments and?
Comments, questions from council members? Seeing none, call the question,
Okay.
please.
On the introduction of 1-2019, Councilman Armington?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb?
Yes.
Councilman Elms?
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
And Council President Foster.
Yes.
Ordinance O-1-2019 has been introduced properly by title and will be considered further at a public hearing on January 22nd.
All right, we have no ordinances for adoptions. We have no unfinished business, new business. So at
Not
this
bad.
time, I'd like to call for adjournment.
Not bad.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye. I'm sorry.
We're out.
You're so.
Okay, and then also we should.
Everybody was ready to go home today?